let's switch over to what the Buffalo Bills are doing and bring in Kimberly Jones, who is in Pittsford, New York. We know Reggie Bush is now with the Bills, but let's talk about this team's demeanor as they are heading into camp, as they are heading into the season. What are you seeing, Kim?
Well, having watched practice yesterday, Amber, I saw a business-like team, and that's not to say that last year's Bills weren't, but I think we all remember really all of 2015 when it was talk about the Bills, it was Rex guaranteeing playoffs for a fan base that hasn't been there since 1999. So for good reasons, that caught on, and that was really the dominating theme for the Bills going into training camp, in training camp, going into the regular season, and throughout a regular season where the Bills simply didn't live up to it, finishing 8-8. This time around, Rex isn't saying the word playoffs, even though the playoffs and his Super Bowl remain his expectations, he told me yesterday. He's not emphasizing that. He is emphasizing this team getting better on the practice field, and he's instituted a couple of penalties, if you will, when players are offsides, when they commit an infraction, they run a lap. And when I talked to Eric Wood, the longtime center for the Bills yesterday, and he said, when I got back to the huddle, I didn't want to make that mistake again because I didn't want to run a lap in this heat. Side note, Richie Incognito said, you don't run the whole lap, you cut a couple corners. Eric Wood's not a cut corners type of guy, Amber, so he ran the whole lap. The point being, there's some discipline going on here at Bills training camp.
Which is a little bit different from Rex Ryan in the past. As you know, Kim, very much known as a player's coach, so a little bit of a different tone than other training camps that we have seen. One thing that we know about Rex Ryan is he is a defensive guy. I mean, he's Buddy Ryan's kid. And the defense last year was not what we thought it would be coming into the season. What do we expect from the defense this year?
Well, it was nowhere close. 19th total defense last year for the Bills, 31st in the league in terms of sack numbers. That's almost unheard of. Those numbers would make Rex break out in hives. I mean, that is not anything close to what he expects. In fact, if you look at Rex Ryan's career as a head coach, last season was the worst defense he's ever had. It was the best offense he's ever had. So certainly the defense has to catch up a little bit. Again, that is new for a Rex Ryan coach team. Aaron Williams, the veteran safety, talked yesterday as he comes back from a neck injury and looks good in his comeback so far. He mentioned that everyone's buying in this season and this preseason, really. And that is so important. That was not the case, as we know, in Rex Ryan's first season in Buffalo. That's a big reason Mario Williams is now in Miami and is not a Buffalo Bill. But Aaron Williams saying that everyone buys in, and really that the communication is so much better. So, Amber, certainly expectations much, much higher for the Bills defense compared to what they did a year ago. And really the reasonable expectation would be that they'll be better second time around with not only Rex Ryan on board, but as we know, he's brought in his brother Rob. And Rob Ryan, a big presence with this defense. Amber, you'll like this, and I'll leave you with this. When I talked to Rex yesterday, he said that Rob Ryan has made a huge addition, and then he said, in many ways, a nod to Rob's waistline, which is a little bigger than Rex's.
And he's not one to cut corners either, or his hair, actually. Rob is the one.
No cutting the hair. His hair looks terrific.
We love it. All right, Kim Jones reporting from New York. Thanks a lot, Kim Jones. Now let's turn to New York, where the Bills are holding their training camp, and we go out to Kimberly Jones. And Kim, we know they have a new running back up in those parts by the name of Reggie Bush. How does he mix in with what's going on with Carlos Williams and LeSean McCoy?
Well, he certainly fits into the Bills' plans today, Amber. A little more than 24 hours after signing with the Bills, Reggie Bush and his new team will be on the field behind me for a night practice. You know, here in Pittsford, New York, a suburb of Rochester, it's usually very pleasant. There's a nice breeze right now, but I think the Bills should be glad that it's a night practice. The sun right here is shining down very bright. The light to my right, which I desperately need, is also shining brightly. I feel like a rotisserie chicken. So I think when the practice begins at 6 p.m. Eastern this evening, it will be a much nicer atmosphere. Certainly it will be an exciting atmosphere. This place is sold out. Fans had to get tickets to attend tonight's evening practice, and they did so in droves. So there is still excitement over Rex Ryan's Bills. As for Bush, he will be here. He was part of the walkthrough last night that was not open to the media. He will be part of this practice. It's unclear, Amber, how much he will do, but certainly he could fit into the Bills' plans, as you noted, in a running back room that that includes LaShawn McCoy, a suspended Carlos Williams, and then some younger backs. So certainly he could conceivably fit in there. A more likely fit might be as punt returner. He's not done much of that lately in his career, but Bush said he's grateful to be here and he's open for anything the Bills need him to do.
And it gets them off to a start with Carlos Williams suspended for those first 4 games, as you said. And
Right.
I prefer Golden Glow, Kim, to a rotisserie chicken. It just is kind of a sunshine thing for you. Let's talk about Tyrod Taylor and what is happening with his contract extension. What's the latest?
There does seem to be interest on both sides in getting something done. Both sides realize it's in their best interest. The Bills have found their quarterback, and that is different from a year ago when it was still tryout mode. It was competition mode, and Tyrod Taylor eventually, of course, won that competition over his backup, E.J. Manuel, and the since departed Matt Castle. But Tyrod Taylor and the Bills a good fit. As Ian told us yesterday from here, likely a bridge contract, a small term, or short term, I should say, contract, a couple of years, and Ian described it as Nick Foles money. So that is something that we do anticipate happening before the start of the season, perhaps. And I will tell you, it's going to be fun to watch Tyrod on this field tonight. He throws a great ball. He looked terrific at practice yesterday. And these fans, I think, will enjoy seeing that Bills offense work.
Yeah, going to be a very exciting matchup along with Sammy Watkins. All right, thanks a lot, Kim Jones, for the latest. We'll check back in with you
Thank you
in just a bit.